Good morning, friends. This is Emily Craig, and it is Wednesday, the 12th of February. That was the old Abe Lincoln's birthday in 2020. And I'm realizing how our system is operating at this time, in this generation, in this critical time of judgment, to demoralize and break our hearts. On my Facebook Emily page, I have the link to Polly, amazing Polly's talk yesterday about how the wills and the souls of the people who live now in the United States, UK, Australia, Canada, English-speaking peoples, how our souls and hearts are broken by what the mainstream media and the main leadership organs of this society are pulling off, okay? And it's not just in politics that we're being methodically, deliberately demoralized. Polly points out that in the public sphere, in the mainstream media, in politics, the point is made continuously that the guilty and the criminal and the rich and the privileged maintain their position at the top of the heap, and that the honest people who question what is going on and how it is, that whistleblowers get punished, and there are so many martyrs being taken out and suicided and heart attacked and disappeared, okay, that people doing good are at the bottom of the pile, and people doing evil, profiteering, proxy wars, okay, profiteering, are at the top of the pile, okay. But how did this happen? What process enabled this system to turn itself upside down? This is one of the things I was talking about this last Saturday in History Reset. How so many of the really difficult situations, the really difficult conflicts and disputes and problems over the last 1400 years or so have been soft-pedaled and not really discussed, while there was all kinds of arguments and disputes and fights going on over doctrine, dogma, ideology, preferences, okay? The pot is kept boiling over theories and opinions and speculations and predictions, and it's all head tripping that we have thrust at us by the media, and especially by academia every day. Academia 150 years ago taught skills. You can find online an examination for 8th grade children that is several pages long, and it's all problem solving and skills based and knowing facts and knowing how facts relate and laws of cause and effect in the mind, so that when you encounter a problem, you know what to do with it. You have rules of thumb. You have heuristics. You have sayings. Remember the wise sayings, okay? A bird in hand is better than two in the bush, okay? Waste not, want not, okay? What are some of these sayings? Seeing is believing, and also believing is seeing. Okay, remember we had these little proverbs that we learned, and some of them were in the Bible, and some of them we found along the way. In fact, I've published a little book of proverbs that I found all over the internet. That it's just a little coffee table color book that's fun for people to go through with their children. Okay, on just little rules of thumb and proverbs and witticisms and wisdom. And that's how we used to run our lives, on what worked out for the most people. But this generation has taken a new tack. Yesterday, I called a company that consults in the Claire Graves Values Profile methodology of human resource management. Okay. And I explained that I had used the Claire Graves Values test instrument in my college classes 25 years ago, and I needed to get a copy of the instrument. And the young lady I talked to on the phone asked me how that worked, and I said, well, I do this and this and that and this and that, and what I come up with is all of the followers are in this group and all the leaders are in that group and all the mixed people, and we proceed from there to solve problems. And she said, oh my God, that's an abuse of the test instrument. She's focused on and obsessing over the process itself, as if the process is more important than the outcome that the process was designed to enable. And that is where society has come, to the point where the process of filing a claim or filing a suit or filing information, the process of evaluating and qualifying the facts that one is telling, takes over everything, and it never gets to an outcome. It never makes it to an outcome. I complained to the IG about disinfo by NASA photographic technicians 10 years ago. I went through the process of filing a complaint that the way they were handling photographs was not revealing what was actually in the photographs. I never even got a reply, because the process has a sanctity of its own, and people make their living by handling the process back and forth, so that as long as they have a process that's working, they're getting a salary, never mind the outcome of the process. So long as the judiciary is handing papers back and forth, okay, and they're getting their salaries for handing the papers back and forth, but there's no ruling, there's no resolution to the dispute or the conflict, the process wins. And the individuals involved in the problem or the dispute or the conflict lose. And this is how, and this is why the winners have captured the process, and the losers are merely standing for what is true and real and affects the human heart. The human heart is being crushed by professional processing, incoherence, ineffectiveness, repetitiveness, and obscurity. And this is what is being taught to our children now in school. Process, definitions of processes, and talking about. And this is how we've gotten ourselves to the point that the good people are at the bottom of the pile and the criminals are at the top. Now, the answer to this problem, of course, is to go back to basics, to go back to what constitutes good behavior. Now, there are two religions that talk freely and easily about what constitutes good behavior. The Sikhs have their 52 bullet list of correct Sikh behaviors, and none of them include dishonesty, treachery, double dealing, protection rackets, or divide and conquer. Okay, the Jewish law, and I have a link that I'll leave down below. The Jewish law is very clear that when you do a good deed, you get a good outcome, and if you refrain from doing something bad, you get a good outcome, and if you do something bad, you need to be disrupted, corrected, and put back on the track to doing good. That is how we define civilized, and decent behavior, is by the outcomes it produces. And the judiciary today is not producing good outcomes. Judiciary is producing corrupted outcomes because they get paid under the table. Okay, protection rackets thrive now. Vices thrive now. Virtues aren't discussed. Okay, so where does the church fit in to this mess? The church has bought in to divide by doctrine. Okay, the Methodists, speaking to the Episcopalians, are discussing their differences in doctrine. They're not talking about the necessity to follow the commandments of God and the behaviors, the beatitudes of Jesus Christ. They're contending over doctrine and dogma, just as in the Inquisition. The Catholic Church was quibbling over the exact nature of the Trinity rather than dealing with the morality of fighting a war over that idea. And so the churches have become ineffectual because they are not setting the tone for Christian behavior, except in some exceptional cases. The Watchtower Society and Jehovah's Witnesses have their lifestyle laid out for them. But they don't have it in a simple bullet list like the Sikhs do. You've got to go into their literature and you've got to become part of them in order to know what their behaviors consist of. Same with the Catholic Church. You go in and you study catechism and doctrine and doctrine and doctrine and doctrine. Along the way, you find out what they expect from you in terms of behavior. All right. Same with Mormonism. The churches that teach fundamental doctrine and dogma leave behavior to the end of the course. And as a result, the churches are not advocates for Christian lifestyle, scriptural, holy, sacred, devotional behavior. And as a result, the churches have become ineffectual and practically emasculated because people just follow their preferences. And that is the doctrine and the dogma of the globalist imperial mindset, that all preferences are profitable for someone. Okay, child sex trafficking is just business, baby. Okay, gun running, drug running, body parts marketing. All right, these are all just business, baby, under the imperial maritime admiralty commercial codes. We have left the wisdom of the past and embraced an obsession with preferences. That's where we are. And so each individual has to make a decision and a choice. What way do they accept? Do they accept the abuse of being honest? Or do they accept the consequences of being powerful and rich? It's a tough choice for some people. I hope you'll think about it before your choice becomes permanent, because what's at stake is the human heart and soul in this fight over ideas and theories and dogmas and lemmas and opinions. Think about it some more. This has been Emily Craig, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.